The girl got a betta fish on her 4th birthday, and she named it Fish because that's what it was, and she wasn't too good at spelling. It died after a few months while the girl was asleep. This happened again and again. Her father would replace it and flush the old one down the sink. She overcleaned the fish and overfed. The girl loved too much, and once again, Fish was dead. She started to pick up on the fact that this was another, but ignorance is bliss. She heard that from her mother. The girl turned 8 and learned that kids can be cruel, a playground full of bees, sharks, and killer whales throughout the school. They pointed and laughed at her buck teeth. She wished she could turn into a mermaid, live in solitude in the coral reef. The bullies were piranhas and they needed to be fed. They watched her get back the English test, laughing at the F circled in red, and they called her dumb, so she thought that she was, but really she was just bad at spelling. The girl turned 12, sitting in the waiting room at the dentist. She stared at the fish tank, those poor fish trapped in a lifelong sentence. She felt bad for the fish. The tank looked like it had never been cleaned. There was a bigger world out there full of crabs and squid, a world in which they could thrive, a world without being watched by buck-toothed kids, and she related to those fish, trapped and blissfully unaware, and she let out her betta in the neighborhood ponds because that's where fishes go, and that's what Fish was. And the girl was 16, and she sat next to a boy in biology, and she learned that boys can be charming and kind, and the lesson was on the anglerfish and how they love, fusing to its partner one body and one mind, and she fell in love with the boy. She overfed and overloved and overbegged. She loved too much, and like Fish, she loved him dead. The boy had a name. It was long with a lot of letters, but I'm not too good at spelling, and he left her. What else was he to do? A whole sea of fish, but all she saw was his face, and he related to those fish, trapped and blissfully unaware. But ignorance is bliss. She heard that from her mother, fusing to others her heart and mind. They came and went, and she'd find another. And the girl turned 20, and she no longer had buck teeth, and she bore her fangs. She needed to be fed, and she yelled because her house was a mess. If she was going to be stuck in a fish tank, trapped and painfully unaware, she at least wanted it to be clean. Or was it blissfully unaware? She wasn't too good at spelling.